I think the name's deceiving. John Sevier Hunter Education Center. They think all we do is teach hunter ed here, and that is a component of the property. But by and large, it's a public shooting range.
Yes, there's so many shooting sports they can come in here and take advantage of. We are open to the public 4 days a week on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, and Sundays. And we have one range facility. It's a bench rest range where they can shoot predominantly rifles and handguns.
There's a place to shoot rifles, handguns, shotguns.
We do have shotgun part of it, that we have an on-site club, the Volunteer Rifle and Pistol Club. They have a shotgun, some of their shotgun machines as well as ours, so we kind of work together there. The shotgun range is open to the public on Saturdays from 1 to 6 and Sundays from 1 to 6.
I think that's a good way to get people in there and get them introduced to it, you know.
Yes.
A lot of people are surprised by hunting, how much they enjoy it, and just a little bit of introduction to shooting can get them in there.
We have an on-site archery club here as well. We did build and construct a new archery range on site for the public as well, so they've got multiple ranges here if they want to shoot a bow.
The award-winning Tennessee Wildcast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Wildcast. We're glad you're tuning in. We're glad you're watching and listening. Another great show for you today. We're here at John Sevier Hunter Education Center again, and Mr. Matt Cameron is helping me co-host.
Having a ball, dude.
Yeah, it's been fun so far. We've had some great guests.
Indeed. Got another one today.
Yes, I am looking forward to it. Mr. Chad Gann is with us. He's the range manager here, and we're going to learn a lot about this facility and all the offerings and a little history of Chad's career, the agency, and all kinds of fun stuff. So thank you for being with us, Chad.
Thank you for having me.
As always, we like to highlight our radio partners and appreciate those folks out there who play the show. And today we're going to highlight Sweetwater, Tennessee, WDEH AM 800. They run the show on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7:30, and it's not too far from Knoxville, so I thought we'd give a shout out to that channel there in Sweetwater, Tennessee, WDEH. We appreciate those guys. We appreciate all our partners on the radio, as well as the TV partners who run it out there on TV stations. And then thanks for subscribing and liking and following us on our social media accounts and our podcasting sites and things like that. We really appreciate it. Like I said earlier, today's all about the range here at John Sevier, and been around a little while. We're going to learn a lot about it today. But Chad, thanks for having us, and thanks for opening up the doors for us.
My pleasure.
Give us a little background, if you don't mind, on yourself and kind of what your career has looked like with the agency. I know it's been a good one, right?
It has. I marked my 25th anniversary on September 1 of this year, so time has flown. It's been a great career, still is, still enjoying it. I'm from East Tennessee. I'm an East Tennessee guy, born and raised in Jefferson County and just east of Knoxville here. Mm-hmm. I grew up hunting and fishing, pretty much all I ever wanted to do as I grew up. I decided at a pretty early age that I wanted to be a wildlife officer. That was my goal, and that was pretty much the only goal I had, and I was able to achieve that. I was lucky to have two wonderful parents, and especially my dad, who really helped me get out and teach me how to hunt and fish, and I followed him around East Tennessee and Middle Tennessee all through my younger years, and we still actually get to hunt together. It's something I don't get to do as often as I like, but I still enjoy doing it with him. But he's retired now, and he fishes pretty much on Douglas Lake and Cherokee some, but he's a big crappie and walleye fisherman. He's really been successful at that, so I'm blessed to get to have him and go with him, and he takes me, I guess he feels sorry for me and takes me every now and then and don't charge me a guide fee, which is he doesn't guide anyway, but he certainly could. He's pretty good at it, but he's been doing it a long time. He's got some real good friends up here. They're all pretty good, accomplished fishermen. But yeah, I grew up doing that. We've hunted and fished all through East Tennessee. Enjoyed it my whole life. It's something I hope I get to do the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. It's just something that I've always had a passion for, especially bow hunting. It's something I really enjoy doing. I do travel out of state a lot and do that as much as possible, but that's kind of my personal stuff there. I have one daughter, she's 21 now, and she's at ETSU finishing up her radiation technology program there. I'm really
Very
proud
cool.
of Sarah. She loves to hunt and fish too. She's been starting to shoot a bow now, so she's wanting to go bow hunting, and that's something I couldn't be prouder of her. She loves to fish with us too when she has time and can get away from college for a little while. So, as far as personal stuff, that's just things I've always been involved in the outdoors and real active. I like to stay fit and healthy and try to and just enjoy doing that and being outside. And
what's one of the most recent fun trips outside of Tennessee that you've been on?
we went to Kentucky the other day, and we hunt. We deer hunt there, but we have some other trips planned pretty soon. I love to hike too. I recently did a run/walk up at Mount LeConte. I like to do fitness stuff, so I'm pretty big into that. And I did the Alum Cave Trail the other day. It took me about 88 minutes to do that and run the best I could and then walk some of it. So it's a pretty good day there. That was one of my funner days in the last couple of weeks. As far as hunting goes, it's just bow hunting. It's, here it is mid-October. It's just fixing to get good. It's that time of the year. If you like to deer hunt and this time of the year is your time of the year, it's the fall's here, the colors are showing, and it's just one of those magical times, whether you're in Tennessee or wherever. It's just a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, and the Vols are playing. So
Tennessee won this past weekend, so we hope they win this weekend against Alabama, so for sure.
Yeah, if you're hearing this show, it may be a few weeks after Alabama, so we may be pretty sad. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll keep our fingers crossed, that's for sure.
We're still rooting for them, but that's cool. Yeah, that's good to hear your daughter's getting into it too and wanting to shoot the bow. That's a challenge. It's a challenge to kill one with a bow.
It is. I think she'll do it. I mean, she's really head over heels into it, so I think she'll do good.
Awesome.
So
very cool. Very cool. Well, so if you back up just a little bit, have you always been an officer for the agency? How'd you get started?
I started out in Unicoi County. I got hired in 1998 with several other officers that year. Still very close to them all. Worked for a couple of years in the mountains of Upper East Tennessee along North Carolina-Tennessee line in Unicoi County. That was the old Area 43. My supervisor then was Glenn Johnson. Glenn was just one of the finest men I've ever known. He passed away last year, and I've been a founding member of our agency's honor guard now for over 10 years, and it was bittersweet to work his funeral and actually do one of the flag presentations to one of his daughters.
Wow.
Last year. I had a great deal of respect for the man, I always will, but he hired me and several other officers throughout his career, but I was one of the last two officers he hired. And went to work in Unicoi County, worked there for a couple of years, then transferred to Hawkins County and worked in Hawkins County for probably close to 15 years, close to that. Enjoyed every minute of that around the Rodersville area, loved that area. And then an opportunity opened up in the Cocke County area, and I wound up transferring there. And after a couple of years, I became a district sergeant. So I was over Cocke, Greene, and Jefferson and Douglas Lake. Part of the time I actually had Washington County as well, so I had a pretty big sub-district with just an excellent group of officers that I was able to work with and still know very personally now. Think a lot of. They're just some fine officers.
Yeah.
So I got into that, and backing up even in that a little further, when I hired in, I got into the training side of things through a good friend of mine that used to be an officer here, and he got me to helping him teach at the Upper East Tennessee Police Academy after I started working a few years, and I taught there as an adjunct instructor at the Police Academy for about 15 years, so I have a pretty good background in law enforcement. I enjoyed doing that. It was predominantly firearms. I was a firearms instructor there and taught some basic police patrol tactics, so I did that for a long time as well, maintaining my full-time role here. And as that blossomed, I got into my baseline, I guess, supervisory role as a district sergeant, and just things kind of kept going there, and I really enjoyed that. Actually worked a little bit of covert work while I was in that role for about a year and a half, and enjoyed that a great deal.
Yeah.
And then as that started winding down, I looked at the possibility of coming to another facility like here at John Sevier, and that opened up. So I wound up taking the range manager job here, and I was able to really get into more of the training side of that as well. So bringing in more training, whatever opportunities I've had established through the years. And on top of that, when I started my job here, I also went back to school at ETSU. So I'm finishing up my master's in criminology and criminal justice I have about one semester left, and I'll be done with my master's.
Awesome.
Congrats, dude.
So,
yeah,
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
That's tough to go back. I feel like it'd be tough to go back and get those extra accreditations there, and
It's been challenging, and one of the neat things is my daughter is getting her bachelor's at ETSU, so we were hoping we could coordinate graduations together, but it looks like I might be a little bit ahead of her, which I'm not complaining, but yeah, so we get to hopefully graduate pretty close to one another, from ETSU. That's most dads and daughters can't say that.
Do you have any classes with her?
No, I'm in the graduate program, and she's still doing undergrad. So that's what I tell her all the time. She just gives me a hard time for that, but it's all right.
Well, looking after you now. I'm watching you.
Oh yeah. So
that's cool. That's very cool. And so we're here at the range today, and I wanted to cover some, kind of the history of the place and what all is offered here. And you hadn't been here, you've been here a while, but
right.
Can you tell us a bit about how this place came about and what it used to be?
I can.
It's pretty neat.
I've been here a limited amount of time, about 2.5 years now. The background that I know on it, John Sevier is pretty rich in its history. It's actually was owned by the military, formed by the military over 100 years ago. And this was all told to me by people that also worked here before me. But at one time, it actually served as a POW camp during World War II. It was a very heavily used. I've talked to some of the locals that live here in the area of Knoxville that knew this place when they were younger, and they saw a lot of military activity here, and it's scaled down over the years, obviously. And at one time, there was actually a 1,000-yard tank range on site here. We're not nearly that big anymore.
Wow.
We're 123.3 acres under fence, which we're still a good-sized chunk of property when you consider Knox County as developed as it is. So we still have a large facility here that we have control over. It's owned by TWRA now. We have the deed to the property, so we have the entire facility under our control and our management, and we really take pride in that and we are open to the public 4 days a week on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, and Sundays. And we have one range facility that's open to them that we provide, and we keep it maintained and try to keep it really in good shape for them. It's a bench rest range where they can shoot predominantly rifles and handguns. We have, if you're just an avid shooter, if you're someone that just likes to shoot, you don't have to be a hunter to come out here and take advantage of this. It's open to the public. If you can legally possess a firearm, you can come out here and shoot on our range. So it's pretty cheap. It's $8 for every 2 hours, or you can buy a year pass that gives you unlimited time on those days that we're open for $151. So that's a pretty good deal.
Okay. I think a lot of the ranges, or at least some of them, you can buy your permits online, right?
You
Go
can.
Outdoors, Tennessee.
You can buy them online sometime.
Yeah. And I think that's encouraging. I think people are trying to, we're trying to encourage folks to do that.
Yeah.
It makes it probably a little easier once you get here. You already got your permits, you're ready to go.
It does make the process a little quicker when you come in. We can get them through the office really quick. We ask when people come through the gate, just check in our office facility. It doesn't take long. That way we're aware of everybody on site and keep everything safe that way. We have range safety officers that work for us some of them have been here for over 20 years themselves, and they're really, really good with the public. And I'm real particular on how the range is run. It's going to be very safe. If you come out, I want you to come out and, feel welcome, and also realize, hey, I had a good time and it was very professionally run and safe, and that's one thing I really strive for.
Yeah, that's important, definitely. So you mentioned, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but there's a place to shoot rifles, handguns, shotguns. You have trap fields or skeet fields?
We do have shotgun part of it, that we have an on-site club that still uses the facility at the Volunteer Rifle and Pistol Club. They have a shotgun, some of their shotgun machines as well as ours, so we kind of co-use it or co-work together there. But the shotgun range is open to the public on Saturdays from 1 to 6 and Sundays from 1 to 6. It's $8 for a permit, and then it's $8 extra for every 25-round course they shoot.
Okay.
So, yes, and then everything is, they bring the appropriate shotgun and ammunition, and that's what it is for them.
That's fun. I think that'd be a
It is.
fun thing to do. I remember the video that you shot, Matt, on this place. It's been years ago.
Yes.
It's still out there.
Is it really?
But
Gosh, we need to update that.
I don't think they had the shotgun side of things when you did that, but it seems like that it's improving all the time, and things are being offered, and I'm sure it's some of the hard work that you and your guys are doing.
There's been some guys here a lot longer than me, like one of our technicians here, Dwight Burnett. He's been here since the place opened. Dwight's done a great deal of work, and I mean, a lot of the hard work that's been done here to him for sure. We have a part-time technician, Joe Durnan. He was a former officer, then sergeant before he retired. He's got a rich history with the agency and local guys well, so they all know really good the workings of the range, and we've got a good staff. And the LE folks that come in here, just really any of the agency employees, they really help us, take care of the place, and we have a really good system going here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What about the archery club that's here?
We do. We have an on-site archery club here as well. We also have a archery range that since I've come here, we did build and construct a new archery range on site for the public as well. So they've got multiple ranges here if they want to shoot a bow, predominantly a longbow. We don't have a crossbow range up, but people can bring a crossbow out and use it here if they bring their own target with them. They're more than welcome to. We just don't have the target set up for crossbows just yet, but that will be in my plan in the future.
Yeah, so, as popular as those are becoming.
Definitely.
If somebody wants to shoot archery here, do they have to go through the club to do that?
No, that's the same process as people that want to shoot a rifle or handgun. Just stop in our office, ask if you tell them that you want to use the archery range. It's $8 for a 2-hour permit to shoot your bow. If you go over that 2 hours by several minutes, then it can be an extra $8, which is still a pretty reasonable amount when you consider you get a lot of time there to shoot.
Yeah, 2 hours is a lot of practice time.
That's a lot of shooting.
Yeah, you might as well quit before you 2 hours.
Exactly.
I would anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know there's a class that you're offering, handgun carrying class, or handgun, just safety class. Knowing how to handle that gun safely. You've been started that up last year, as it was, or year before, but that's something that's going on now that you really want to promote.
Yeah, I mean, the agency's been real supportive of me since I've come to work here, and I've talked to them about wanting to do new programs, and they've just been really good. Like my supervisor now, Randy Husky, and his boss, Matt Clary, they're both really good on the recruiting side, the R3 side of the agency, and even the folks before them that helped me establish it, but I've established a handgun carry school here that we have now, where I guess we were the guinea pig, so to speak, in East Tennessee. So we started a pistol program here in East Tennessee at this range, the only one we have now. But I was given access to purchase several handguns, revolvers, and semis, and a lot of ammunition. So what I set up, I created a handgun permit school here, so that's what we have. And if people want to come out and get their enhanced carry permit, which is still very popular within the state, and if you travel at all anywhere out of state, you should really have your handgun permit. And I encourage anybody now that can legally do it to carry a handgun or carry something to protect yourself when you're out in public. And we see it, unfortunately, every day. Seems like somewhere that something bad happens to somebody. And one of the cool things now is I've got it set up that if you want to come out and take your handgun carry class here and get your 8-hour permit, it's $8.
Wow.
Or it's an 8-hour class, but get your enhanced carry permit. It's an $8 fee to come out and take my class. If you don't have a handgun or ammunition, we will provide it for you. So that's another cool thing about it. I have a bunch of 22 caliber handguns. You don't have to carry the handgun that you qualify with during the class. So if you come out here and you go ahead, okay, I'm going to take the class, and then you decide, well, I'm going to go and buy one somewhere at a good gun store, that's perfectly legal. You can carry that. Another cool thing about it now is they've changed the law where 18-year-olds can take the permit class, and it's a good thing. I've talked to a lot of parents that are going to send their kids out here that are going to college. Same way with my daughter. If she's 21 now, but she would have had her permit at 18 if she could have done it. So she went through one of our last classes here the other day with several other agency employees and some of their family, and it went really good. We've had a couple already just to start with. Everything's going real good. But as far as the ease of being able to come out and get your handgun carry permit, that's about as easy as you can get.
Well, tell people why they need to come to class, even though constitutional carry, quote unquote. qualifies them.
Tennessee has very lenient gun laws, but we all know those can change at any time after any legislative year. You have to keep up with that. But here's the other thing. If you travel out of state at all, and most people do, you still need that permit if you're going to carry in a lot of other states. Just because it's allowed in Tennessee doesn't mean that other states allow it the same way. So you need to know before you go. That's what we tell them in our class all the time when I'm teaching it. If you're going to travel out west or you travel to different parts of the country, whatever state you're going to travel through, check with them before you go. That's one thing we harp on in the class really good and go over in the law and the legal section. That way I want them to be as knowledgeable as they can, because it's not knowing how to shoot the handgun or knowing what caliber does what that's going to get you in trouble when you're outside, in the public. You need to know the law. And it's something, being in school like I am now, I'm really involved in that and researching a lot of stuff. And I tell people, knowledge is power. You need to know the law, and that's one thing I'm really in depth on in our class. And I'm proud of the way we do it. So people, when they leave here, they usually have all their questions answered.
I think it's great that price point too. I mean, I think back when I took my class, it was a couple $100 or something like that.
They started out expensive, and the agency's been really good. And another thing for us, it gets folks in here. And a lot of people I found out since I've come to work here didn't really know that we were open to the public. And I get that a lot. And we've tried to make that access to people to see that, yes, we are 4 days a week. We're open to you. We want you to come in here and take advantage of it. People that come in, I can't tell you, every year it's like, we didn't even know y'all did this. I get that a lot. So that's something we want people to understand and take advantage of our ranges. We've got several ranges throughout the state, but this is the one in East Tennessee that, we're a pretty large facility and we're capable of handling quite a few people.
I think the name's deceiving. John Sevier, Hunter Education Center. They think all we do is teach hunter ed here, and that is a component of the property. But
correct.
By and large, it's a public shooting range.
Yes. There's so many shooting sports they can come in here and take advantage of, and just the permit class is just another option. We have like classes that Matt's helped me set up here, just outdoor event activity days, like the spring hunting event where it's geared more toward turkey season. Then we have one in the fall that I gear towards deer season. We want people to come out. We have a lot of folks that are new or brand new to the sport and want to come out and learn, and they've really come out and shown interest in it, and it's been really successful. And we plan on doing more in the future with the handgun classes, with the hunting events, and just to introduce all different types of new folks to the sports of shooting and hunting and everything we can, just to get them in and introduce them to TWRA. We do.
It's a great,
well said,
great connection there. I think that's a good way to get people in there and get them introduced to it.
Yes.
It's I think a lot of people are surprised by hunting, how much they enjoy it, and just a little bit of introduction to shooting can get them. Get them in there.
One of the other things we've done here is, when I was in school, and Matt, I went to UT in Knoxville, and we didn't get a lot of in-depth knowledge then of like, what does it take to be an officer, or what do you need to do to help get your foot in the door with TWRA. So I've gotten some of the younger folks that are students over there in the Wildlife and Fisheries Department to start doing RSO, range safety officer work here, and volunteer and get in. And we have a career day that I've set up here in May. Well, it's usually late spring, for those students to come from UT, from local colleges, and from surrounding areas that are interested in becoming wildlife officers to come in here and see. And we have a pretty good amount of LE folks and myself and other people that do a question and answer. We let them. Matt will bring his flurry machine down. We'll set it up and kind of just to pretty much set the range for them that day, and they can come out and shoot and listen to us talk. And any of the questions they have, we'll talk to them and answer their questions about what their employment opportunities are. Those have been real good, and it's growing every year.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, right here next to campus.
Correct.
UT.
Yeah.
UT Knoxville. It's right here in the heart of it. And that's a lot of our
premier wildlife school in the state.
That's what we say. Yeah, we might get a little bit of argument or blow back from these tech guys, but we don't listen to them.
Yeah,
Tech's good, Martin's good, LMU and Harrogate. Do they still have a wildlife program up there?
I'm wanting to say they do, but I'm not 100%. I know it's changed. Yeah. But we all know there's only one real orange in Tennessee, right?
That's hunter orange, right?
That's right.
Well, we touched on handguns, shotguns, rifle range, but you mentioned qualifying for a longer range. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We do have a 300-yard range. That's our longest yard range that we have here still left on John Sevier. You can qualify for it. You have to come in and you shoot on our bench rest range, and you'll take a special target we have, and you just got to put a three-shot group within the target that we give you, and we'll tell you exactly how you've got to do it at 100 yards.
Okay.
We'll take that and get everything down and get people signed up. We don't get that many, but we do have a little select group of folks that come out and do some long-range shooting, and we have some really good shooters that come in here from around the area. So it's a popular sport. We do have quite a good amount of people that come in now. It seems to be increasing every year.
Well, it gives an opportunity for those out-of-state hunters who like to go out west or something, or shooting those longer range opportunities.
Yes.
You make a good point. There's been so many people move into Tennessee, and by and large from other states. Are you seeing a lot of folks from other states here coming to the range yet?
Actually am. I mean, I've got several gentlemen that I know. If you've lived in Tennessee long enough, you see this influx that we're having of folks coming in now. They're moving in from all over parts of the country, and I've got some gentlemen that come from upstate New York, and they talk about how much they love to live in East Tennessee now, and they're hunters, and they can't believe what we offer them here as far as the hunting opportunities they have, and they can come in here and shoot for the low cost they have, and it's so easy to come to a place like this and shoot, and the opportunities we give them seem to be a lot better than other states are. As far as we're just more user friendly, I guess.
That's fine.
I have no doubt about that.
Love to come to Tennessee.
I agree. One of many reasons. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so you've killed some nice deer in your time, because I've seen pictures. I know you're not big on tooting your own horn, but can you tell us a hunting story? Maybe it doesn't have to be a giant deer, just something memorable you and your dad went on.
I guess I can. I'm 51 years old. I've hunted for a long time. Been very fortunate and blessed to harvest a few nice deer, but there's one story that I'll never forget, and I know it is recent, but we did lose my mom this past year after a long illness that she'd been battling, and that was tough. And during that time, last fall, she was not capable of leaving the house, and she was not doing very well. But my dad, he wouldn't leave her. He stayed right with her, and he gave up a couple of years there that he barely went, and I could get him away short times. But last year we had drawn shotgun tags in Illinois. He loves to gun hunt up there, and we've got a really good group of individuals up there that are like family that we hunt with, and he hadn't left the house in several weeks just because of Mom's condition, but I was able to line up some folks to help set with her for about 3 days, and after a long, encouragement, I got him to agree to go. So I had been lucky enough to go up a few days earlier, and I'd harvested a real nice deer with a bow in this area, and it had a lot of deer in it, but I told him, I said, I want you to hunt right here where I'd been hunting. I wouldn't hear of it. There was a lot of deer in there, and I wanted him to have the best opportunity he could. And literally, the season opened on that Friday, and I was in a tree several hundred yards away on the other side of the farm. I didn't even hear him shoot. And he sent me a text message, and he said, I think I got you beat. And literally, it was the first hour, and he killed the biggest deer of his life.
Wow.
That morning last year. It was about a mid 150s 10-pointer as far as him, and after I talked to him a little while, he said he just literally walked over and found it and sat down with it and just prayed and had a pretty good time with God right there. So that by far my most memorable. Even though I didn't kill it, it'll never mean any less to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What a godsend.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I knew you lost your mom not so long ago, man. Thanks for sharing that personal story.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And your dad, and Wayne Rich taught me this before I even knew who your dad was. He said, Frank Gann's one of the best crappie fishermen in East Tennessee. He said, his freezer's full of crappie.
It's probably true.
You don't learn how to crappie fish, you need to talk to him. And it ain't no lie. Ain't many times he goes out crappie or walleye fishing and he don't get a limit.
He's had good luck. He's been blessed.
He's good at it.
Yeah.
I'll toot his horn.
Yeah. Well, maybe we get him on a show sometime.
He would do it. I could get him to do it.
That'd be fun.
You want to learn about spider rigging and trolling plugs for crappie, and then for walleye spinner rigging, he could actually help you.
Wow.
I need help.
So
sounds like a drop the tailgate or a wild cast or something. We'll make it happen. That'd be fun.
It would. And it's one of those things, somebody can tell you how to do something, but that don't mean you can go out and replicate it, because I've went out and tried and told me exactly how and where, and I couldn't do it. So It's in their blood, man. They're
No,
good.
I don't know.
Yep. Well, Chad, appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
It's
thank
been
you
a
for
good
having
time.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. Matt, thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is Tennessee Wildcast. Keep coming back. Keep watching. Keep listening. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee Wildcast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.